surgery. I'm super nervous, so I want my family here, not only for their support, but to also be like, God!
The morning air rolled across the open fields like a curtain rising on a brand new chapter, but nobody knew just how chaotic, hilarious, and emotional this day at the farm would become. The family was buzzing with plans, jokes, nerves, and a little bit of fear. One thing was clear. Today wasn't just another outing. Today was going to test comfort zones, push boundaries, and shake loose every insecurity hiding beneath the surface. Really? Today of all days? Amy teased as she shuffled around, getting the kids ready. We're going to the farm, y'all. Everyone cheered except Amanda, who had to work, but the rest of the crew was ready. Amy, the babies, Chris, Brittany, and Tammy. This wasn't just a family trip. It was a chance for growth, for independence, for freedom, especially for Tammy. Because today, whether she liked it or not, she was going behind the wheel. But before any of that, they started with something far less intimidating and far more ridiculous. Shooting apples from an apple cannon. The farm, where laughter hurts more than any workout, the family stepped onto the farm like kids unleashed into chaos. Apple cannons boomed, hay bales stacked high, animals roaming, tractors humming in the distance. It was the perfect mix of country charm and total madness. Welcome to the farm, Chris shouted as a giant blast echoed across the field. Tammy fired the apple cannon with the confidence of a pirate loading a cannonball. Boom! She nailed a parked car, gasping as the impact echoed. Oh my God! She smacked the car? Amy screamed. I did it! Tammy hollered proudly. Laughter exploded from all sides. The last few months had changed everything. The babies were growing, Amy was learning motherhood on her own, and Tammy was turning into a version of herself none of them had ever seen before. Amy wiped applesauce off her clothes. Gage is about to be 3. Glenn just turned 1, and I swear these kids eat more than Chris. Chris puffed up proudly. Tammy's transformation, and the secret pain no one sees. Tammy wandered toward a cow, scratching its head like they were old friends. I ate your cousin for lunch, she told it. The cow mooed loudly. But he tasted good. Tammy shrugged. Underneath the jokes, life had changed drastically for her. Since rehab, she'd lost 400 pounds. 400. She could cross her legs, put her shoes on, sit comfortably on the toilet. The simplest things everyone takes for granted, became miracles she never thought she'd live to experience. But there was still one monster she couldn't escape: excess skin. It dangled, rubbed raw, caused infections, and made walking painful. How much skin you got left? Chris asked. Too damn much, Tammy groaned. She had rashes under her stomach, painful folds, and bow-legged walking. Skin removal wasn't a want anymore. It was a necessity. Her last appointment with Dr. Smith? 299 pounds. His goal? 250 for a referral. I'm close, she whispered, almost afraid to hope. I'm real close. The family prepares for their biggest checkup ever. For the first time in years, all 5 siblings were finally going to see the same doctor, together. Chris joked, if Dr. Smith can handle all 5 of us in one room, that man deserves a trophy. The air was thick with anticipation. Amy was adjusting to life as a single mom. Misty was thriving post-surgery. Amanda was fighting her own battles with stress and self-neglect. Chris was struggling to push past his 300-pound wall. And Tammy, she carried the weight of everyone's expectations and her own silent fears. They needed a distraction before the emotional storm. And that's when the makeover mission began. The makeover, laughter, insecurity, and a new beginning. Back home, the sisters decided to do what they do best: act like complete idiots together. Playing with filters on their phones, they transformed themselves into aliens, eggs, cartoon characters, and Gollum with Botox lips. A Cordy. Tammy gasped at one filter. Girl, I look like a melted wax figure. But beneath the laughter, a truth lingered. They weren't just trying on filters. They were trying to imagine a new life. A makeover wasn't about vanity. It was about becoming the women they fought so hard to be. Pick my look,
Tammy said.
And I'll pick yours. Deal. Amy smirked. But don't make me blonde. They walked into the salon, and the stylists lit up. Oh my god, y'all look amazing already. When Tammy sat in the chair, she swallowed hard. I want to feel beautiful, she whispered. Really beautiful. Her stylist smiled kindly. You deserve that. Hair dye dripped. Foils folded. Brushes swirled. And when the transformation was done, Tammy almost cried. She wore chestnut brown waves with sun-kissed highlights. Soft, feminine, powerful. I love it, she whispered. I actually love it. Then came the outfits. Tammy stepped out wearing jeans.
Actual jeans.
The family stared like they'd witnessed a miracle. Damn. Amy shouted. Look at you. Tammy touched her waist, stunned. In my whole life, I've never wore jeans like this. For the first time ever, she didn't just look different. She felt different. The tractor race, facing terror to find freedom, but the makeover was just the beginning. Chris had bigger plans. The farm was holding tractor races, and he wanted Tammy in the driver's seat. Driving terrified her. Even riding as a passenger gave her panic attacks. But independence? That was the one thing she wanted most. Forward is forward, Chris explained. Backward is backward. Don't hit nobody.
No promises, Tammy mattered.
Amy yelled, don't turn nobody into ground beef. We having beef tonight. They lined up. Y'all ready? Chris shouted. Get set.
Go.
Tammy screamed as the tractor lurched forward. Dust flew. Engines roared. Everyone hollered. Tammy gripped the wheel so hard her knuckles turned white, but she didn't stop. She kept going, and going, and going.
Sa.
Chris's turn. The plateau, 299. Same as always. Dr. Smith didn't sugarcoat it. You need 50 to 60 more. You can do better. Chris swallowed hard. Tammy's moment. The truth that broke her finally. Tammy rolled forward. Not in a wheelchair, but standing tall. Last time you were 420, Dr. Smith said. He checked the scale. 3038. The room exploded. Holy, Amy screamed. Damn girl. Chris yelled. Tammy was shaking. I did it, she whispered. But then Dr. Smith continued. You need another 100 pounds before I can refer you for skin removal. Silence. Tammy's face crumpled. Another 100. Another mountain. Another battle. I thought I did enough, she whispered, breaking. You did, he assured her. But for your safety, you need to lose more. She nodded, but the pain was too heavy to hide. Her breakdown, and her rise I shut down, Tammy admitted later. I started overeating, so I'd throw up. Amy froze. Tammy, no. But I stopped, Tammy said. I ain't letting myself go back. She painted, cried, talked, healed. She fought the urge to give up, because she wasn't that woman anymore. She had come too far. The final chapter, a family, broken but still fighting. The Slayton siblings were exhausted, emotional, worn thin, but they were still standing. Amy rebuilding life alone. Misty glowing with progress. Amanda reclaiming her identity. Chris pushing for one more breakthrough. Tammy battling her biggest enemy yet. The pain of feeling not enough. But they had each other. Through chaos. Through grief. Through triumph. Through every ugly, beautiful transformation. And their story, far from over.
Decorate my house, get it clean, of all Michael. You know, this house needs to be more me and the boys instead of me, Michael, and the...
In a family where chaos never truly sleeps and wounds often cut deeper than anyone admits, the smallest spark can ignite an explosion. What begins as a simple day of distraction, just a sister trying to clear her mind, soon spirals into one of the most emotionally charged storms the family has ever faced. Because beneath every joke, every argument, every attempt at coping lies a battle scarred with insecurity, pressure, resentment, and the desperate need to be understood. Amy wanted peace. Just a small break from the fear gnawing at her since the doctor's appointment. Dr. Smith's words had struck her like a punch to the chest. Another 100 pounds. Another mountain. Another requirement. Another impossible benchmark she felt she couldn't meet. She tried to smile through it. She tried to pretend she was okay. But deep inside, she felt herself collapsing all over again. So when she invited Tammy to come paint, it wasn't just an activity.
It was a lifeline.
A way to quiet the storm in her mind. Amy needed something, anything, to pull her away from the fear of falling behind in her journey again. Mixed media, glitter, paints messy or not, it kept her hands busy while her spirit tried to hold itself together. But even in this peaceful moment, the pressure of failure followed her like a shadow. The memory of the doctor telling her she wasn't ready for surgery replayed over and over. She hadn't lost enough weight. She hadn't worked hard enough. She hadn't done what she should have done. And the disappointment crushed her. She spiraled, eating, purging, losing control. The exact demons she thought she had escaped after surgery pulled her right back into darkness. It wasn't hunger. It wasn't craving. It was self-punishment. Yet somehow, she clawed her way out of it again. Not quickly, not perfectly, but she fought and she stopped. And for the first time in a long time, Tammy was proud of her. Because the old Tammy, the Tammy from years ago, would have spiraled deeper.
But this,
she did everything the family begged her to do for years. And yet somehow, she felt like the moment she stood on her own, the family stepped back. The people who visited her constantly when she was sick barely checked on her now that she was healthy. The ones who begged her to improve now complained she was different. And the children she adored, who practically lived in her home, who ate her food and made her feel alive, were suddenly being used as ammunition in arguments she didn't start. The cracks widened into fractures. Whispers turned into accusations. Stress turned into hostility. By the time the argument erupted, the entire room was a fuse ready to blow. Voices rose. Words sharpened. Emotions spiraled out of control. No one listened. Everyone talked. And Tammy, who had spent the last year trying to rebuild her life, felt herself being torn apart by the very people she fought hardest to survive for.
she tried to walk away.
Tried to breathe. Tried to stop the shaking in her chest. But the moment she stepped outside, tears broke free. The weight of everything she had held inside for months, fear, loneliness, resentment, came crashing down. Inside, things only escalated. Everyone thought someone else was following them out. Everyone thought someone else was handling the situation. But no one did. And Tammy felt abandoned, thrown out, unwanted, a burden. Her pain exploded into anger. Suddenly, lines were crossed that could never be uncrossed. Harsh words fired like bullets. Old wounds reopened. Accusations no one expected were hurled in every direction. And one sentence from Amanda, cut deeper than anyone could have imagined. "You're dead to me." For Tammy, that was it. The moment she heard she was no longer family in the eyes of someone she once leaned on for support, something inside her broke permanently. She had lived her entire life trying to be accepted, trying to be enough, trying to be understood. And now, after everything she had survived, her heart wasn't just hurting, it was shattering. And as the dust settled, the silence was almost louder than the fight itself. Chris walked into a battlefield he didn't witness, trying to piece together the damage after the final blow. Tammy tried to explain, but the hurt blocked every sentence. She felt betrayed by everyone, by Amanda, by Misty, even by the siblings who weren't involved. Because none of them stood up for her. None of them intervened. And none of them stopped it from turning into a war. She replayed every moment in her mind. How Misty barely visited anymore. How the boys didn't stop by as much. How the family's warmth turned cold once she got healthy. They visited her constantly when she was dying, but when she survived, they disappeared. It was a truth she never wanted to say out loud. Her home didn't feel like home anymore. Amanda's house, once a refuge, became a battlefield she had no desire to stay in. She packed her things, made her decision, and for the first time in her life, She chose her own peace over her family's expectations. She planned to leave. Maybe not just the house, but Kentucky itself. The idea terrified her, but so did staying where she felt unwanted and unwelcome. She had survived losing 400 pounds, survived rehab, survived loneliness, survived the fight of her life. But she wasn't sure she could survive being rejected by the people she loved the most. She felt done. Done trying. Done apologizing. Done shrinking herself to make others comfortable. Done fighting for a place that didn't feel like hers anymore. And somewhere inside that heartbreak was a spark, not of anger, but of awakening. She wanted distance. She wanted clarity. She wanted peace. And she wanted to build a life that wasn't controlled by the past, by expectations, or by old wounds. For Tammy, leaving wasn't running away. It was finally choosing herself. In the days that followed, Amy tried to help her. Tried to cook for her, distract her, comfort her. She made strang. The kitchen smelled like chaos. White chocolate in my Alfredo. Shrimp fried? I stared at the pan like it was a dare.
My nerves were shot.
Don't put chocolate in it, I muttered under my breath. Everything in this kitchen was already rich and heavy, but she insisted on pushing boundaries. She thrives on the weird, the unexpected, the normal, utterly overrated in her eyes. And yet, this dinner wasn't just about experimentation. Amanda had hurt her knee, and lunch needed to be ready for the boys. My plan: take some over to her. Not because I was ready to forgive, not because the old fight was forgotten, but because at the end of the day, she's still my sister. Her kids needed her fed, cared for, loved. I handed her the bag of secret ingredient white chocolate, my stomach twisting in fear. Stop crying, I said, even as tears threatened to spill over for me too. They all said I couldn't cook, that I was weird in the kitchen, clumsy, incapable. I had burned water, for crying out loud. Amy can't do this. Amy can't do that. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm not them, I reminded myself. I can try, and for tonight that has to be enough. The first bite of the white chocolate Alfredo was shocking.
Sweet, savory, terrifying.
And somehow, I survived tasting it. Could I go back for another plate? Maybe. It depended on my hunger and my bravery. Meanwhile, chaos wasn't limited to the kitchen. Tammy was putting her notice in at Amanda's house, determined to escape Kentucky. Until she learned to drive and became self-sufficient, the option of moving anywhere else was limited. I'd bought the house next door as a potential temporary refuge for her, a lifeline if the situation demanded it. Tammy loved her independence, but history proved that living with family always came with friction. Tammy had lived with everyone, me, Amanda, Mom. Each move had its own set of battles.
And now,
she was moving into a house next door, with Brandy's cautious blessing. I just hoped proximity didn't cause more conflict than it solved. I wasn't willing to let family drama threaten my marriage. Not now, not ever. The yellow house was a mess. Drywall dust, unfinished ceilings, remnants of the previous owners. But it was a roof over our heads. I took a deep breath, thankful, realizing that gratitude had to be a shield against the tension and drama that hovered over every interaction. Weeks passed. Dr. Smith set weight loss goals for Tammy and me, a path toward eventual skin removal surgery. Today, the plan was golf, real golf, not miniature putt-putt, something new, something active. Tammy's driving skills were non-existent, thanks to her track incident, and today, she would confront that fear. She was furious. I'm not ready. Nobody's listening, she shouted as I tried to coax her into the golf cart. Fear, anger, and frustration clung to her like a second skin. I let her sit with it for a while, knowing pushing her would do more harm than good. When she finally climbed behind the wheel, her anxiety was palpable. Slowly, cautiously, she took the first turns, gas pedal underfoot, hands trembling. But something miraculous happened. She did it. She drove. Fear lingered, but pride and exhilaration crept in alongside it. We laughed, cursed the squirrels in the woods, and marveled at the small victories that felt monumental. Back at the house, the holidays were creeping in. Amanda, of course, was absent, lost somewhere in Florida, wrapped up in her new life and romance. Her absence was a sharp sting to everyone gathered. We tried to press on, exchanging gifts in a chaotic, laughter-filled game of Bad Santa, each present a tiny gesture toward connection. Tiny hands, socks, pickles, trivialities that somehow mattered more than words. Tammy's move was imminent. The yellow house wasn't ready, and reality collided with hope. Boxes piled up, memories packed with care, sentimentals carefully guarded. Moving out of Amanda's house after 11 months brought relief, but also a pang of nostalgia and anxiety. The dream life I had envisioned, living here, maybe starting a family, was now tinged with uncertainty. Dinner that night was my own trial by fire. Sugar-free pecan pie, glazed chicken breasts, a side salad. I had to get it right. Every detail mattered. Every flavor a bridge toward family unity. The tension was thick, eyes darting from plate to plate, assessing, judging, waiting to see who would falter first. The first bite held the weight of anticipation. Was it good? Surprisingly, yes. There was laughter. There were cheers. Praise for daring to mix ranch with cinnamon, a bizarre culinary gamble that somehow worked. Amy's first family dinner, a success. We toasted to new beginnings, to family, to resilience. Farting mid-laugh didn't derail the moment. Small victories, yes. But to me, monumental. Family, for one night at least, united. And then came the bombshell. Amanda moving to Florida. Distance, drama, escape. It tore at us, threatened our fragile cohesion. My heart clenched as I weighed the reality of her absence against the hard-won victories of the evening. Meanwhile, weight loss milestones brought personal triumph. I had shed pounds, shrinking into a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. Tammy, too, steadily moving toward her goals, both of us carrying the weight of past failures and present determination. It was messy. It was emotional. It was real. Family squabbles, kitchen experiments, fears confronted, milestones reached. Life rolled forward, one unpredictable, chaotic, sometimes terrifying moment at a time. And through it all, there was laughter, there was pride, there was love. There was the kitchen, the golf cart, the yellow house, the empty chairs at the holiday table. There was grow. Tammy's move was imminent. The yellow house wasn't ready, and reality collided with hope. Boxes piled up, memories packed with care, sentimentals carefully guarded. Moving out of Amanda's house after 11 months brought relief, but also a pang of nostalgia and anxiety. The dream life I had envisioned, living here, maybe starting a family, was now tinged with uncertainty. Dinner that night was my own trial by fire. Sugar-free pecan pie, glazed chicken breasts, a side salad. I had to get it right. Every detail mattered. Every flavor a bridge toward family unity. The tension was thick, eyes darting from plate to plate, assessing, judging, waiting to see who would falter first. The first bite held the weight of anticipation. Was it good? Surprisingly, yes. There was laughter. There were cheers. Praise for daring to mix ranch with cinnamon, a bizarre culinary gamble that somehow worked. Amy's first family dinner, a success. We toasted to new beginnings, to family, to resilience. Farting mid-laugh didn't derail the moment. Small victories, yes. But to me, monumental. Family, for one night at least, united. And then came the bombshell. Amanda moving to Florida. Distance, drama, escape. It tore at us, threatened our fragile cohesion. My heart clenched as I weighed the reality of her absence against the hard-won victories of the evening. Meanwhile, weight loss milestones brought personal triumph. I had shed pounds, shrinking into a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. Tammy, too, steadily moving toward her goals, both of us carrying the weight of past failures and present determination. It was messy. It was emotional. It was real. Family squabbles, kitchen experiments, fears confronted, milestones reached. Life rolled forward, one unpredictable, chaotic, sometimes terrifying moment at a time. And through it all, there was laughter, there was pride, there was love. There was the kitchen, the golf cart, the yellow house, the empty chairs at the holiday table. There was Grow. Family dynamics, struggles, and reconciliation. Chris. Family is complicated. Amanda's move to Florida caused tension, and squabbles flared constantly. But I want us to support each other, push each other forward, and reconnect. Tammy. Sometimes I shut down during tough conversations. Chris. I passed an olive branch. I want to repair our relationship. We don't have to rehash the past, but we need to move forward. Fitness journey, 5K training. Chris. With the London trip coming up, we decided to prepare by doing a 5K. Tammy walked a full lap around the pond without stopping, her farthest walk ever. Progress isn't always measured by speed. Sometimes it's simply completing the journey. Tammy. I'm proud of myself. I never thought I'd make it this far. Chris. Every lap we take together strengthens us, not just physically, but emotionally. This is resilience in motion. Plastic surgery approval. Chris and Tammy. Chris. At Dr. Turner's follow-up. I weighed in at 265 pounds, meeting the goal for surgery. Approval was overwhelming. After 3 years, the wait is finally over. Tammy. I'm still nervous, but seeing Chris get cleared gives me hope. It's motivating. Dr. Turner. Tammy, you've lost an incredible amount of weight, 465 pounds combined. Removing your excess skin will require multiple procedures, multiple surgeons, but it's possible. This is the next step toward freedom. Travel to London, bucket list adventure. Chris. London has always been a dream. Traveling the world seemed impossible before our weight loss journey. Now we're crossing continents, exploring history, and reconnecting as a family. Tammy. I've never been away from my boys this long. I'm nervous, but excited. Chris. Our first day, the double-decker bus, walking tours, historic sites, it's overwhelming. But it's magical. Every step reminds us of how far we've come, not just physically, but in courage, confidence, and resilience. Genealogy, discovery, royal connection. Chris. We explored our family history. Could we be related to the Queen of England? Maybe. The possibility ignited excitement, curiosity, and pride in our heritage. Every story we uncovered reminded us of roots, resilience, and legacy. Tammy. Even if it's just a story, it's fascinating. Our past shapes our present, and now we're living our best lives. Family bonding, challenges, and triumphs. Chris. London tested our patience, our relationships, and our courage. Tammy navigated mobility challenges. We faced jet lag, and old family dynamics surfaced. But together, we pushed forward. Tammy. I realized I can do more than I think. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's about trying, showing up, and moving forward. Chris. From weight loss milestones, skin removal approvals, burlesque confidence, 5K training, to London adventures, this journey is about transformation. Not just the body, but the spirit. Resilience, courage, determination, and family. These are the true victories. Closing reflection. Chris. 3 years of hard work, setbacks, triumphs, and growth have led to this moment. Skin removal surgery is just a step. Life, confidence, and adventure are the real rewards. Tammy. Every challenge, every step, every obstacle, I'm learning to rise above it. I'm stronger, braver, and ready for whatever comes next. Chris. We're living proof that with determination, support, and courage, transformation is possible. Not just on the scale, but in life. And this is only the beginning. End scene. Powerful montage of achievements. Chris walking confidently post-weight loss. Tammy smiling during burlesque class. Family exploring London, laughing, bonding. Gym workouts, 5K training, moments of triumph. Final shot. Both smiling, embracing, ready for the next adventure. This version condenses your transcript, emphasizes powerful action words, emotional highs and lows, transformation, courage, and family bonds, and keeps the storytelling flow tight for an audience.